So Angola yesterday had the difficult start. They came up short in the loss to Poland. Doncic making a really welcome return to the Slovenian national team as we get a look at the schedule with Venezuela and Korea in the nightcap game at 7:30 local time. So join us again later for that one. But now everything focused on Angola and Slovenia. And Angola, a must-win, back-to-the-wall situation. And to get the win that gives them a chance to make the semi-final, they have to overcome the current Eurobasket champions, Slovenia, who, as you can see from that table, obviously with a team that rotated out of action yesterday. With me, Mark Mills. Mark, Angola at times yesterday showed us that they really do have a way of playing that's effective. They just couldn't do it for long enough against a very good Poland.
Yeah, absolutely. Consistency was the key yesterday. There were glimmers of exactly what Angola could do to you. The likes of Ndonyeme shooting well at times. You know, he hit 3 from 6 from outside towards his 11 points. When they then started focusing on Moreira in the inside, they started getting some really good looks. But again, like you say, they've got to put 40 minutes today together if they're going to beat Slovenia.
Well, and beating Slovenia is a tough ask. Pretty much, obviously, with the retirement of Dragic from that successful Eurobasket campaign, this team has still got a large number of those players that came up with a phenomenal performance. The Rupnik, the first man out, and all this with 2 NBA players and players playing across European clubs at the highest level. This team is deep, Mark.
Yeah, there is. Obviously, it's understandable. Luka, he's getting all the focus, he's getting the media attention, and, you know, his announcement in the kind of NBA in the last couple of seasons, it's understandable. But like you say, 7 of his 12 have won gold medals at Eurobasket, and we can't forget that. The quality goes all the way through. And even when you look at the 5 guys that weren't at Eurobasket 2017, they're storied players. They've played in big leagues, in big clubs throughout Europe.
And that puts a lot of pressure, as we know, on the head coach role, and Alexander Sakulic in his first, big tournament play as the head coach has got to get this done. Because don't forget, Slovenia missed out on the World Cup, the first FIBA World Cup in the current format, because of the toughness of qualifying out of Europe. But they are the number 16th ranked team on the FIBA rankings produced by Nike. Angola now being introduced, and one of the powerhouses of African basket. And as you said, Mark, yesterday they really did have opportunities where they could have really tested Poland, but then just came up short.
Yeah, the majority of their points came in the paint. You know, I said it before, Moreira were key for them. Half of their points were in the paint against Poland yesterday. He got in foul trouble, which was a problem for him. But there's other areas that they need to pick up on. 20 turnovers in the game. And again, it was just through miscommunication. It wasn't necessarily the pressure that Poland were putting on them. So they just need to protect that possession.
We'll be back after the national anthem, starting with Slovenia. And now the national anthem of Angola.
For the national anthem of Angola.
I always say, as you get a look at Coach Pep, that I think it makes you realize you're in a national team situation once you hear those national anthems. Here are the three officials, the third team. Mr. Abakil from Morocco makes his first appearance, and Mr. Vasquez and Mr. Manzoni from Puerto Rico and Italy are picking up their second game on day 2 of the FIBA Olympic Qualifying Tournament here in Kaunas. A few people have come in. Don't forget, we do have fans in the arena, and you know, at the moment, I think in the first few days, it's a percentage of a capacity, but come the weekend, we'll be at 100%. Mark, here's the starting lineup for Slovenia. Yeah, talent 1 to 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Doncic will take the focus again, but you've got to look at the likes of Blazic. So much experience, and also we have a debutant, Mike Toby. You know, just getting his Slovenian citizenship. He's now in place to play for them, and he's going to have a big position to play. But as we say, the focus on Doncic. The stats don't lie. Over 27 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds this season in the NBA, 2 times NBA All-Star, and one of the brightest lights in European basketball.
Well, Coach Sekulic, his history in the game's unquestioned, currently with a tough job on his hands to fulfill a team that comes in as gold medalists from the Eurobasket. The pressure is intense, the expectation is raised, and it's always great to win the first one, but the coaches you follow have to then deliver on a regular basis. And here is the coach of Angola in shot, Pep Carlos Canales, and here's the starting lineup.
Yeah, again, it's tough to pick out, you know, the big players. They spread the load in yesterday's game, but Ndonyeme with 11 points had a big one. Adis Bastos, not in the starting 5, but he had 7 points and 4 assists as well. But surely the focus is going to be on Moreira, both on the offensive end, and it's going to be interesting to see how Toby, in his debut for Slovenia, is able to contain Moreira. He had a big game against Poland yesterday. At times looked very dominant, 27 points and 7 rebounds. And bear in mind, that's in 24 minutes. He was limited because of foul trouble. Coach Claros maybe slightly overprotecting him in that game. It would have been interesting to see if he was free to play 30+ minutes, what he would have put up.
Well, let's hope he has that option. And there is Coach Jose Carlos Canales, or Pep to his friends, which I hope we are. You know, I think he's got a tough job, the Spanish head coach. And now, you know, both teams in the huddles. And just before we forget, get away from the Angolan lineup, what a thing for Eduardo Minguez, 42 years old. If they don't qualify for the semi-final games, this could be, you know, but then again, for a few years, people have said this could be Eduardo's last appearance at this type of competition. What a career, though, 42 years old. I can remember what I was like at 42, and it wasn't playing Olympic qualifying basketball.
Well, I've still got that to come. I've got my 42nd birthday coming up, so I'm thinking maybe I could dust off my shoes. He's inspiring me.
I'll make sure that we make that. Maybe there could be a signing in the BBL back in the UK. We make that people aware that you're available and you're still younger than Eduardo Minguez.
I'm definitely a free agent. I can make that for sure. But yeah, Minguez, 110th cap tonight. Unbelievable for him. He's played in 2 Olympic Games, 5 World Cups. What has this guy, you know, got left to do? But like you say, this might be the last time that we see him.
Well, Angola, as it says there, have lost 5 games at Olympic qualifying tournaments, and Slovenia have never qualified for the Olympic Games. So, you know, both teams can only go up. And obviously for Angola, you know, it's a tough ask playing the Eurobasket champions, but in their history, Angola, multiple Afro-basket champions, not a tradition. And as we know, and we saw yesterday, they have a lot of athleticism, and they're gonna go out here and they're gonna run and shoot the basketball, because I can't really see them changing overnight from how they performed yesterday.
No, absolutely not. Like you say, they've got an Olympic history to them. They had 5 Olympics in a row from '92. That was kind of the golden age of Angolan basketball. Last 2, they failed to qualify through the Olympic qualifying tournament process. They're hoping it's not kind of a 3rd failure in a row, but you're right. It's got to be run and gun basketball for them. They want to be quick. They want to be moving. Yesterday, the ball got stuck a little bit, and they went a little bit early in the shot clock, so it'll be interesting to see if they have a little bit more patience today.
Do you think, though, to take that point a little further, is it run and gun, or do they have to keep the tempo quick? I mean, sometimes yesterday I think they could have spent a little bit more time with the ball, but they've got to keep it moving.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. I think if the opportunity's there for transition, they absolutely have the athletes to go out and do that. But yeah, once they get caught in that half-court offense, it can't just be the simple pick and roll for them. They need to be a little bit more intricate and understand what is the focus for their offense.
Great point, great point. Well, welcome to Kaunas. the basketball city. Slovenia in the blue and Angola in the white uniform, and Angola with the first opportunity in the half court. Mingas decides to put up the early one. Maybe when you're at 42, you get that right. But Slovenia hunt down the long rebound. And Luka at the point will get the Toby ball screen. They show a hard show, and then they've got to recover. Nice find, wide open in the corner. Blazic for three is long, defensive rebound. Mingas picks up a positive stat. Mishandle. I don't know how he got away with the walk with it, but in the half court. We're going to work. Goes on Toby, goes up with the right hand, can't get it to drop. That's going to be a good matchup. So the ring for two is good. And Blazic in transition. Got to stop that early.
Yeah, Dragic obviously taking over from his brother and providing some leadership and some seniority in this roster as well for Slovenia.
And Diamia goes to the Murray again. He's got more touches in the first two possessions than he had for the first quarter yesterday. Inside out, you want to reposition. They're going to fire up the three. I think that's obviously, hey coach, I'm 42. I've got to shoot. give me some love early on. Comes up empty again though. Doncic. To the lane, put the floater up for the throwdown and a whistle. And these, let's just say, cute alley-oop.
And this is the problem you now have with Doncic, you know, his vision, his ability. Do you commit to him if you're the help defender? Do you drop and try and defend the lob? What can you do? And straight away we see Morea picking up that first foul as well, which obviously was a concern yesterday. But yeah, Doncic doing exactly what he does day in, day out in the NBA.
We were talking before the game, Mark, as Mike Toby's going to shoot the and one, that you've got to pick your poison, right? Because the lob was there, Morea had to help. Someone's got to help him. No one did, so the lob becomes an easy option. At least make him throw it to the perimeter and say, make the three. Yeah,
the worst situation you've got is what you had there, was where you kind of got stuck in a halfway house. You weren't going to commit to try and stop the pass. You weren't dropping back to defend the receiver. So, yeah, that's the worst place to be. You just have to commit one way or the other.
Santos moves the basketball. The three is short. And the problem that Angola have here at the moment, they just can't break the defense down. Look at Doncic in the half court. Toby again, they turn down the screen. Stops, they're going to call the travel. And exactly what you were just really saying, on that occasion, everyone stayed at home and they did a decent job actually stopping the penetration.
And hopefully that's what Coach Claros has got across to the team, is saying, look, this is our strategy. You know, we know that Luka Doncic is going to be key. We're either going to, you know, cut down the passing lanes, we're going to sag off him and try and help him kind of let Luka get what Luka gets, but no one else is going to get anything. They just have to have a focus.
Santos again moves things across. Morea pops to the mid-range, doesn't get it to go. That's three jump shots that, as Blazic goes up the other. Whoa, what a block! Morea just got back in transition. He just outworked everybody. And when you're looking for something to inspire, this is what could do it.
Yeah, it's a brave play as well, him going up for the block, and perfect timing on his jump, because remember, Morea's already on one foul, and he knows how important he is for his team. So yeah, perfect execution.
Three, Kakai's good. Let go, Shankar. Gets his feet set, just stretches the defense, knocks down the three. 8-0 start for Slovenia. Got to try and break this defense down. Morea trying to go to the inside, goes with the right hand hook, is short. And that's what Toby gives this Slovenian team. Shankar goes to back-to-back threes and makes it. Early timeout for Angola. Slovenia have come out looking what they are. Just a superb unit. Having just made the three, you can't give him this much time and space.
And the nice thing you've got as well is, as much as, you know, all the pre-game hype was about Luka, instantly we're seeing it's not all about Luka. We're seeing those big pieces of the puzzle. Ultimately, Chancha is an NBA player. Yeah. We can't ignore the fact, you know, he might be in the shadow of Luka, but the guy can flat out play. And as you say, you can't give him that space.
No. You can't give him that much time and space after what he did. This is... There's got to be a part of this timeout where he's saying, hey, can we play basketball? Doesn't matter who you're playing, you've got to try and do the right, you've got to try and do what you can do. And they've settled for jump shots and tough shots every time.
Yeah, and again, on the offensive end, for me, it feels like there's a slight amount of impatience. So, you know, Moreira's getting in the low post, which is great. That's the focus that they need. Wait for a double to come across. Wait for the defense to react and to have to flex. At the moment, Toby's not necessarily needing the double, but it's likely they'll still drop a double down onto Moreira at some point. Let that happen, and then you can make your move. But at the moment, they seem to not be patient enough for that.
Yeah, absolutely needs to be. And people on the perimeter, when that's happening, have got to set a screen, move away, back screen, down screen, whatever is going to create some action away from the basketball, so that maybe could stay as a one-on-one play. Here's Miguel, turned over, down the other way. Doncic is going to stop, makes the pass, but Dragic goes back up and is frustrated with himself. Zoran Dragic missed the first one, missed the second one. He's going to have to earn them from the free throw line. And we've talked for the last couple of days. We think that the issue when it comes down to how you guard this Slovenian team is not so much what Doncic scores, it's what he gives everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dragic frustrated with himself, and his brother sitting in the crowd just behind us here, kind of laughing at him a little bit that he missed that. I'm sure there'll be conversations there between brothers after the game on that one. But yeah, it's he just creates so much, you know, as much as he can create for himself. Everyone around him has confidence that if they find the right spot, he's going to get them the ball. Well,
Slovenia have come out, and in the first just over 3 minutes, lead this one 13-0. And Angola, unless they can find some offensive rhythm, they're going to have a very long night. They're going to settle for the three again, and it's good though. We know that this team will shoot the three. If they can shoot them in rhythm, then they'll make a decent percentage. Nice curl on the screen. Takes us to the lane, off the glass for two, and makes a tougher one than he missed earlier. And this team have instant offense across 1 to 5.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? There's no particular focus on their offense. Everyone knows what they're good at, and they're getting those looks.
Well, there's a great example of what you were talking about earlier. Yeah, they pushed the ball in transition, but then they spaced and they had someone at the front of the ring that gave them the ball, pick up the foul. So that's a good sign for Angola. So substitutions coming in for Angola. Joshua Kashila steps in. Currently playing in college in the United States at out of bounds, I think, on the sideline. But again, someone made the court smaller.
Yeah, I think so. Feels that way, right?
Every game. Angola going up the floor here. Sheila, it'll be a tough ask if they can extend the defense, but contain as opposed to go for too much. They show the hard show and just took the show out of the play. Beat the guy trying to show, and Toby just dived hard. And again, no help from the weak side.
No, from my point of view, I don't know why they're showing. If I'm trying to defend Doncic, I'm probably not going to show. Not that hard, because he's got the handle, he's got the ability and the vision to be able to beat you on that. I'd much rather you say, okay, you're going to go down the screen, we're going to drop under it, we'll give you that little bit of space. Yes, he can hit long threes, but again, it's pick your poison. Do you want him to shoot from 2-3 meters outside the three-point line, or do you want him to find an easy interior pass for a high percentage score?
Say going up. Well, mid lost the handle. There's a whistle on the play, which was a. If he drew the foul, it's going to be a little late, but more important to be late and correct. But there's a pushing foul off ball.
Second foul on Moreira.
And they're the fouls that Moreira can't afford to pick up. It's okay if he's going block. He's okay if he's getting after it, but pushes off the ball. Even though he looks a little bit like perplexed at the official, don't give the official the opportunity to make that call.
It's just, as a coach, it's just one where your kind of head sinks, your chin sinks into your chest. You're just like, oh, why is my star player, someone with so much experience, one of the players that's played at the higher levels in this Angolan roster, just not reading the game, not understanding how important a role he's going to play.
Little Rupnik joins the action, takes a little point guard responsibility. Doncic steps back for three, short, and the impressive rebound. Pulled in by Gaku. stop and pop for Miguel's no good. And Slovenia again off to the races. They go upstairs for Tobe, and he misses the alley-oop, and it was almost just Gaku getting his hands in the way that almost took his vision away. Oh, coast to coast for Shelton Miguel. No one stopped the ball. He makes the easy 2, and Angola pick up their 5th point. Doncic will go to the free throw line and looking to open his Olympic qualifying account with free throws.
And I like that last play from Shelton Miguel at the other end as we see the replay of Doncic going to the basket, because ultimately he made Slovenia pay, and they're going to have to do that. Every time Slovenia slip on the defensive end, Angola have to make sure that they convert and take the score. And obviously, you know, Shelton Miguel, he's only 20 years of age, but coming straight in and making an impact, that's absolutely critical for them. As we see Moreira now head to the bench on his 2 fouls. We know Coach Barros is very keen on protecting him when he gets in foul trouble.
Yeah, a little bit frustrated, Yannick Moreira. But as we said, you just don't give yourself the opportunity, the issue of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, when you just stay away. The team needs you in there for as many minutes as possible. And he finds himself the one place his coach doesn't want him, which is on the bench. Which makes the first and goes 1 for 2. Shelton Miguel gives it up against the pressure. Gaku has it. Miguel. 8 on the possession. Finds a little separation, comes up short. Doncic comes down with a rebound. Rupnik gives it up. Numbers down the floor. Well, they came up empty when it was easier to score.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is something Angola can't do. Their transition defense, you know, it's a simple thing to do. You just have to put the effort in that situation. They were lacking.
Bastos goes inside. Bango, well, did everything right and then just blew the layup.
And this is the thing, Bango actually had a relatively good game yesterday. He got more minutes than he would have expected because he is the first kind of replacement from Moreira. And you can see fundamentally he's a good player. It's just that final moment where the concentration lapse comes in, or the experience comes in, or the pressure pays, and couldn't quite connect.
Ziga Dimek checks in, got a whistle on the play.
Yeah, veteran play by Dragic there. Just instantly read that Bastos was too close to him, and you just rip the ball through and take the jab step, and the defender's got no option. They're going to foul you.
Here's a question for you, Mark. This Slovenian look very 3-guard orientated. Obviously they've got enough size within those 3 guards. You know, apart from Rupnik, everyone's got enough size. It's going to be an interesting matchup for any team trying to take them on. They're going to have to match up foot speed-wise. It's just an interesting balance to their team.
Yeah, it is, and I think the arrival of Toby is key to that. I think because they have a legitimate 5 now that they can be quite comfortably playing quite a small. As much as we class it small ball, you're still looking at guys that are 6'6", 6'7", so it's not relatively small ball, but yeah, they can focus in on the guard position for sure with a legitimate 5. Obviously, we now see Dimets come in to take up that 5 position.
Whistle on the plate as Klovat picks up the personal. The replay taking away the moment of glory for the floor wiper. And Angola in the half court. Big step, bump. Doncic is going to be called for a block.
Yeah, it's the right call from the official. Doncic literally, and you know, you have to again give credit for Cisse. He read that situation. He noticed that Doncic turned off for just a split second. He looked to his right and didn't stay with the play, and that gave him enough space to penetrate.
Cisse catches in the corner, puts it on the floor, wants to be aggressive with it. Ball's knocked away. If you're going to be aggressive, you've got to look after the basketball. Rupnik in transition. Doncic. And he turned down the inside option, brings it out. Steps back, mid-range 2 is good.
And this may be, for me, the only area where I would have a concern around Slovenia is when they rotate out of Toby, they're not as confident in their big man as an offensive threat. So yeah. Dimets is not there to put points in the basket, and the rest of the team know that.
Well, let's see if Angola will see if, again, it's the debate about Morea as well. And Selton Miguel goes to the basket, draws the contact, will go to the free throw line. So you would kind of hope, though, if you had the option to bring Morea back, this is the time to bring Morea back, right?
Yeah, you'd think so, right? This is a position. And again, we had the conversation yesterday. Yes, you protect your bigs, but what are you protecting them for? They're down by 16. They've only scored 5 points in the first 7 minutes. Are you going to wait until deep into the second quarter when they're down by an insurmountable amount? You want to bring them in to have an impact. And it will change the psychology as well of the Angolan 5 on the floor.
Well, and let's just take what's happened so far in the game as Miguel takes the second of his 3 throws, which is good. Morea was getting touches. Now, Morea getting touches against Toba is not the same as him getting touches against Ziga Dimek.
No,
so
absolutely not. Dimek's not going to be able to keep up with the foot speed of Morea. Morea will be able to, you know, just pivot in front to him and go to the basket strong with him and should be able to draw fouls, which will affect Slovenia's rotation.
Rupnik. And how Slovenia play with Rupnik at the point is going to be important. And we're going to get an offensive foul. And exactly the point you made in that Ziga Dimek on the floor is not really in Coach Sekulic's primary options. Not with a long time on the shot clock anyway.
And the thing is, you can't blame Dimek for going for that opportunity. The lane opened up and he did the right thing. But again, it's not his game. That's not, you know, that's not what he's in the roster for.
Bastos opens up for him, gets to the ring. Rupnik just pushed him underneath the ring. Rupnik in transition gives it up. The open 3 in the corner in transition is off. Defensive rebound pulled in, and Gaku's having a nice game off the bench. Yet another positive rebound for him. Looks to hit the second side and does.
Yeah, he grabbed 6 rebounds in yesterday's game, so it's clear that's a focus for him, that he wants to help clean up the board.
Well, Santos moves it on. Gaku's already made 1 3. Can't get the 3 to drop. Rupnik nicks long. Great vision.
And again, that's criminal from Angola's perspective. Transition defense isn't a complicated technical thing or a team-focused thing. It's just literally get your head down and run back. Make sure you're putting everything you can in to defend your home.
Muric gets out on the break, gets on the runway, throws it down. Bastos steps back with a tough one, drains it. Well, there's not a lot else you can do defensively apart from have your hand all over it. And Bastos just knocked down the 3. Rupnik again. They're going to early into the block in transition. They run a lot of nice things out of transition. Great pass to the weak side for 3. And the defense has got to be a little bit more active to close that one down.
And what I'm liking from Slovenia's point of view is you can tell they're not looking at the scoreboard. They're not saying we're up by a huge amount. They're not taking their foot off the gas. They're taking every challenge and every possession 1 by 1.
And they're going to go travel eventually. I think the official tried to give him every opportunity not to travel. But in the end, had to call the walk. Well, the thing you're faced with in these very small tournament type things is the tournament's almost over before it's begun if you're not ready to play. So, you know, and Slovenia haven't had an enormous amount of build-up. Team comes together relatively short time frames. So this is another opportunity for them to get on the floor. Yeah,
absolutely. This, you know, as much as it's an important game to win, this is also a tuning game. They want to work out what their rotations are, you know, what offensive sets are going to work for them.
Well, wide open again, down one side. Swing through to the other side of the floor. And Klovat makes back-to-back 3s and has a really nice stroke.
But one thing's for sure, every other team at the moment around this Olympic qualifying tournament will be a little bit more worried.
A quick release on the 3 as Dimic chases it down. Luka Lupnik will get the early ball screen and the foul on the play. So you say, if you're going to force him that way, make him go that way. Don't let him reach when he comes back. And Rupnik will go to the free throw line. Rupnik, 28 now. Feels like Rupnik's been around forever, but
it's one of those baby-faced guys as well, right?
Yeah, already had it's been around the higher levels of European club basketball. Now back in Slovenia with Cedevita Olimpija in the Slovenian league.
And also with this lead in place now, it's good for Coach Kulic because he can rotate. He's making sure everyone's getting minutes. He's trying different combinations and see where the weaknesses are, where the strengths are. And like you say, this first game, as much as the tournament's short, will really help them out in the long run.
Well, they passed up the open cut to the hoop to take the false three, and Dos Santos can't knock that down. Slovenia will hold for the last shot of what's been a really efficient and impressive first quarter by the Eurobasket champions. Rupnik wants to foul and has to go through a lot of contact. Mishandles it, still plenty of time left. And they still get the layup for two. And they end the first quarter as impressively as they started it and have a 33-9 margin. And that's not about how badly Angola have played, that's how well Slovenia have played. They lead it 33-9 at the end of one.
Yeah, phenomenal first quarter from Slovenia's point of view. You try and pick out anything they've done wrong when you look at it. 61% from the field, 57% from outside. And Angola, again, are being limited to tough shots. You know, 18% field goal percentage. You know, we looked at yesterday for them when they were actually shooting 41% and we said that was bad. They're now down to 18%. But like you say, they're being limited.
Well, let's take a look at the best plays from the first quarter. And a lot of those will be with the guys in blue, obviously, with the 33-9. The most impressive thing for me, Mark, is the tempo. Their movement away from the ball, their tempo's been really good, whether they're in the half court or they're actually running the floor. Their tempo has been very impressive.
Yeah, absolutely has. Like you say, that even when in the half court, they're keeping things moving. It's not static. It's not staying stuck in someone's hands. And you'd think there might be an inclination to do that when you've got your superstar Luka on the floor, but it's not. He's sharing the ball. He's moving off the ball as well. He's happy to be off the ball. And they're playing at the right speed at the moment. The one thing I would say, and is this for me, when you're looking at international teams, is the patience that Slovenia show. You can almost tell the quality of an international basketball team is how far into the shot clock are they happy to go. We saw on that final play, they were happy to run it down to next to nothing on the shot clock before they took that opportunity. We're not seeing the same for Angola. They're snatching early shots, which probably aren't going to be the best shots that they're going to get.
No, that's very, very true. In that you've got to feel comfortable and confident in your teammate not to take the bad decision, to be happy to get deep into the shot clock. And Slovenia have done that incredibly well throughout. So there we go, start of the second quarter. Rupnik will inbound. Goes long to Nikolic, who slotted in really well towards the end of that first quarter. Got a whistle on the play. And Diema picks up the personal.
I think Nikolic is a nice option for Slovenia, particularly on the defensive end as well. He's someone, oh, what a pass. Vision from Rupnik.
Rupnik is capable of those, let's just say, the champagne pass. And what he does do as well, he gets down and plays some defense. Angola in the half court. They'll hit the second side, that's much better, but look where they're having to play the game. Meat is outside the three-point line. And that's about Slovenian pressure. Miguel's tied up. You're gonna have to put this up. Turn around from Moreira on the block, doesn't get it to go. And that's a defensive series. Rupnik. And the more aggressively Angola will play, the more controlled Slovenia will be. Rupnik slices through the hard show. Oh, well, maybe they overpass. The three is good.
That is a thing of beauty.
Demonstration stuff already.
That doesn't look like a team that have just come together.
No.
It looks like a, you know, a club team.
Nice pass to the inside, and the two for Doe. Doe, as the arena announcer calls him. A little bit of emphasis as he puts in the two. Hand off, Nikolic. Pick and pop. Extra pass. Nice pass to the inside and cut. And the three is a little rushed. And Moreira did a great job chasing that one down. Miguel survives the attempt of the steal. Gets a little bit of control for Angola. Diema goes inside. Moreira gets more touches again. But they're forcing off the block. deep in traffic. Had to force it. The offensive rebound, they have to put it up, just about get it away. Chance to run. Nikolic has it. Slovenia down the floor, 4-on-2. Everybody wants to run because everyone knows they're going to receive it. The three is short. And they chase it down, and Rupnik with a new 14. Wraps the pass to the corner. The open three from the corner is good. And Angola are going to have to take the timeout because Slovenia is so relaxed. They're in rhythm. Everybody's open, and unless Angola do something here defensively to change the tempo of the game, well, just get comfortable and enjoy.
No, baixes cabeza sí.
Yeah, for me, when you're looking at that, you know, the Angolan defense there, and we can pick different holes in it, but in that one, they've got to stop stepping out for me. The rotation isn't crisp enough from the defense to help on that baseline and then to jump back out to the shooter. And if that's not going to be crisp enough, then you just need to step away from helping so hard on the screen and just, you know, if you give up that space, you give up that space. I think that's just something you're going to have to, you know, you're going to have to accept. It's the better of two evils in that situation. But from Slovenia's point of view, this is scary. They're looking exceptionally good at a very early stage of their Olympic preparations. And this is the prime example. Selfless basketball, beautiful spacing, and great timing of the passes as well. Just enables them to get such open looks. And you can see how much Rupnik's enjoying it. Look at that no-look pass to the corner. Absolutely stunning basketball.
Well, Toby's back after that timeout, so that makes life really a lot easier for Angola.
Yeah, you can see Moreira's reaction slightly there, head down, hand on his knees.
Yeah.
He's thinking, I had the opportunity before, and I didn't get the ball early enough in the shot clock.
Zabasek checks in. And Angola in the half court. Santos will take the high ball screen, but at the same point again, they're playing offense 2-3 meters outside the three-point line because of the way Slovenia extends the defense and doesn't get beat on the dribble. The double team comes inside, outside. They're going to rotate. Great scramble. They take the tough two off the dribble. Is no good. The Santos can't get it to go.
Much better though. They waited for the double team from Moreira, then moved the ball. They've just got to move the ball quicker.
Well, that's one way to deal with it. Just try to dodge the bullet from the three-point line. No call on it, as Doe has it, moves it out of the block. Whistle on the play, foul on the floor. So it'll be a sideline possession. Krovat picks up the personal. So Slovenia going back into the rotation as Dragic returns. So 41-11, and things are going to get tougher. Bastos takes a tough one. Great work on the glass by Doe, going back up. Going to step through, is blocked by Toby, gets a piece of it. And Slovenia hunt it down. Not sure where that pass was going, but Bastos recovers. Inside, outside, wide open. But the three is good.
That's a wonderful pass by Doe down in the low post as well. To have that vision to look past Moreira, which would have been the natural pass, but he found the open man for the three.
Nikolic needs a pass, finds one. Nice high-low. Inside out, they double team, not sure why. Extra pass, the open three. Oh, that looked as though Nikolic may have turned the ankle as he landed, but didn't.
Made a tough stuff. But yeah, and Slovenia just showed you exactly what Angola need to do. Wait for the double to come down into the post, and then quick ball movement gives you the open shot.
Santos came off the stagger. Now they go down low, going back to Moreira. He's fouled. Tobe had him behind the backboard. Didn't really need to go for too much contact on it.
No, and also I think there was too much separation. If I'm Toby in that instance, yeah, I want to be the rim protector, but also, you know where the offensive threat is. If your guy's the offensive threat, I think he needs to be closer. He can't let Moreira have the easy swing and then drive to the basket.
Moreira makes the first. And it's one of those situations where Morea, if he makes solid moves, yesterday he struggled from the free throw line. He's normally a very good free throw shooter. 75% across last season in the Basketball Champions League. And he goes 2 for 2. Yes, the first half yesterday was obviously a blip, but he could draw contact through his foot speed. Doncic is back in as Slovenia have 4 of the starting lineup back in. And Doncic will advance the basketball. Not sure he needed the screen, but got one. Slovenia in the half court. And I think you just saw smart.
Literally, that's the dictionary definition of basketball smart, right?
He's looking to pass, he feels the contact, so he just throws up. Something that he wasn't looking to shoot the ball coming
I'm not
off
even
that
sure he felt the contact. He just knew that the contact was about to come. He knew how they were chasing over screens, how they were reaching arms around screens, and he was like, if that's the way you're going to play, I'm just going to throw a prayer up. I don't mind if it goes in, because I know I'm going to be fouled.
Makes the first. Slovenian crowd getting a little interested in the free throw, trying to get some atmosphere in the gym. And he makes the second.
And it's great to see the effort that these fans have made. If they have come from Slovenia in the current times, it's not the easiest of things to do, but commitment to supporting their national team as they try and get to their first ever Olympic Games. That's great to see.
It's a trek. Let's just call it a trek.
It is. Even in normal times, it's not the easiest of journeys, but wonderful to see the fans.
Yeah, if they came in the cars through some beautiful countryside, but a lot of countryside. Here's Dos Santos with the pass to the inside. Off the glass is no good for Tonio Guido. Pushes, needs a pass, finds one. Lazic wide open for 3 and just fills it up. And the time and space is just making life so easy from the perimeter. You've still got to make it, obviously, but a demonstration of how to shoot the basketball. Well, Morea's frustration gets the better of him. He steps out to the three-point line and knocks it down. And straight back at you. Lazic retains it, gets control, wants it back, and they'll recycle. Doncic will come off the screen from Toby, who's going to dive and get deep, inside, outside, wide open, same spot. The 3 is off. Lazic gets the offensive rebound, and they get a new full team. Doncic from deep downtown hits nothing except the backboard.
A slap of the perspex. And this is going to be rare for me to say, and it makes me cringe saying it, but I almost want to say to Angola, reduce the amount of help. Try and play a little bit more straight up, man-to-man defense, because at the moment the help is coming, which is great, but then their rotation behind it isn't crisp enough. So you're seeing the corner shooters wide open every single time, and Slovenia know that. They don't even have to look. As long as I throw the ball to a corner, I've got someone who's shooting 40+% from the corner standing waiting.
Yep. So referees discuss it and finally decide to give it back to Angola. And Chanka checks back in. Morea, having made the 3 the last time, turns down that one. Goes pick and roll with Astos. Drops it inside, turns it over. Recovered. Cisse, nowhere to go. And they're going to get the violation.
You feel as this second quarter's progressed, though, Angola have got a little bit more of a handle on the offensive end. They're starting to understand where there might be some space for them to work, where there might be some gaps for them to work. But again, it's just coming down to that execution, reading the game. You know, in that situation, you have to understand where the shot clock is. You know, you might want to be intricate, you might want to get a better shot, but you have to read it. Doncic
feels the double team, passes it out of it. Someone's wide open. Toby doesn't need anyone. He'll shoot the 3 and knock it down. Yet another man in a blue uniform joins the party from the three-point line, and Slovenia with the 53-19 advantage. Morea goes to work on the baseline. Second move, gets the 2. Nice step through once he had Toby standing straight. Chanka will hand it off. Blazic will try to go to the middle, turns down the ball screen. Doncic has it, fills the double team, wraps it and turns it over. Morea leading the break, 3-on-1. Gets it back for 2-and-1, and we'll go to the free throw line. And Yannick Morea doing it all. 3-point line, leading the break.
Yeah, and I think as we've said the whole time, pace is the key to Angola. It's not about rushing, but it's about knowing the right pace at the right point of the game. In that last play before this transition and one play for Moreira, they kept the pace relatively brisk. It didn't get static, it didn't get stuck. You know, Moreira had the ball and he was quite driven with it. He went to the basket, he didn't hesitate, he didn't wait. And I think that's key for Angola, that they keep things moving.
Morea makes the and one and gets Angola to down 30. Toby in the lane, will push for 2.
Yeah, I imagine when they approached Toby and said, would you like to come and play for the national team alongside Luka Doncic? He went, yeah, it's a big man, it's not a bad place to be. Playing alongside Doncic, I'm going to get the ball a fair bit.
Morea will see what his options has, puts it on the floor. Going there, Toby settles for the jumper, is long. And Doncic comes down with it, and they're back 3-on-1. They go upstairs for another little soft alley-oop, and Cisse doesn't know the ball's coming. Just about recovers. Doncic just takes it out of Morea's hands. Little pass. Shankar for 3 is off, and I think the second half could be fun. And Doncic will take the foul for the team, send him to the free throw line to earn the points.
Yeah, I think it could be a fun second half there. And from a coaching perspective for Slovenia, it enables them potentially to rest players if they need to as well. So I imagine they'll just keep rotating players, which from Angola's point of view, doesn't get any easier. Whoever comes off the bench in the blue jersey, the level stays the same.
Well, the interesting thing about the rotation is Sakukic is, the minutes might change, but the rotations and the order of people coming in look like you'd expect it to be. So yeah, he'd have clearly said to these guys before the game, yeah, we've got to win it first, but this is about getting ready. So we're not going to do anything in this game that we're not going to want to do tomorrow. So yeah, thus makes the second of the free throws.
It's a difficult place to be because, like you say, you're trying to prepare and you want to win this game and you have to focus on each game as they come to you, but you've also got half an eye on how are we building towards actually getting to the Olympics and performing when we get there.
Doncic over his head for the pass, got a whistle on the play, and contact after the ball is released. Doncic will go to the free throw line.
There's 2 generations of basketball talking to each other there, really, isn't it? Eduardo Mingash, been there, done that, and Doncic with his basketball journey fully ahead of him.
They go lob out of bounds. Should just drop that one down for the easy 2. And Shankar with an easy 2, and Luka Rupnik. Easy call for the official. Play with the palms of the hand on the offensive player, and the official is always going to call you. 59-25, and Sheila on the free throw line. When Kashida goes back to SAGU, which is a very small NIA school in Texas, it's yeah, that conversation will be interesting. What did you do?
It's not a bad summer, right?
Yeah.
I tested myself against some of the greats.
Did I ever tell you about the time I was trying to guard Doncic? Open 3 in the corner in transition is short. Malaya comes down with it. Kashida wants and gets and has a chance to lead Angola into the half court. Comes off the high screen, tries to turn the corner. Nice second step for 2. Pretty move. Yeah,
really good. Technically near perfect. The little Euro step to find the space through. Shankar couldn't keep up with it.
And he comes up with a steal. 3-on-1 break, just has to pick the right option. Poor pass, but Malaya saves it. Doesn't get the 2 to go. And Angola, Morea's like, hey, good decision, but come on, give me a pass.
Yeah, it's got to be better execution. And again, it caught between 2 minds. Are you throwing the lob or are you throwing the entry pass to the post? And Kashida kind of did in between both of those, which was no good to anyone.
Because either would have ended up being an assist. So Lorea's going to have to release for the pressure. Read by Doncic, comes up with a steal. Doncic going to the far side of the ring for a pretty reverse layup. Malaya is way short on the three. When Slovenia run, they all run. Doncic steps back, deep three is good. We were right behind that one.
Yeah,
it was just
beautiful.
Sweet to watch.
Yeah, he's starting to slip into that Showtime gear now, Doncic, with his passing and the way he's playing the game. Certainly relaxed, but he's pretty much like that in every situation, Luca.
Ishida can't get the three to go. Defensive rebound by Doncic, who just acquires another positive stat. 64 to 28. And Slovenia are going to try and use every second of the 24. There's about a 4 or 5 second differential.
Doncic just playing with him at the moment.
Steps back, leans back, way off the line with a three. Angola come down with plenty of time unless they're going to turn it over. Ball's recovered though, easy two. And Bastos finishes the half for Angola with the two. And we've made it to half time. Slovenia have the impressive 64 to 30 advantage at the half. Everybody's played, everybody's looked positive, and that's a nice first 20 minutes for the Eurobasket champions.
Yeah, as kind of the form book would dictate, but maybe not to this extent. Slovenia looking so impressive, and it's all driven by team basketball, and you can see that through the stats from that we're seeing here. Slovenia dominating the rebounding battle. Interestingly, points in the paint, but they're also forcing turnovers from Angola as well, which is not a good place for them to be.
Well, Toby has an impressive 12 from the three-point line and on the alley-oops. Doncic with 11, and Nikolbat with 3, who shot the ball very impressively in that first half. Let's take a look at some of the best plays of that first half. Plenty of them though, Mark. Let's be fair, there's a lot of highlights that whoever was editing these would have been spot for choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to compact these down into a short enough clip to fit into the halftime break is a tough job, and it started straight away really with Doncic throwing that lob to Toby, two of the key protagonists in that first half for Slovenia. Obviously Doncic, what will be the face of Slovenian basketball for years to come, and Toby making his debut, so great to see those two finding a connection early on, and it's really been one-way traffic for an awful lot of that first half. Slovenia, both offensively and defensively, look like a very well-oiled machine. And looking on the other side for Angola, a lot of the problems they suffered in that first game yesterday against Poland kind of seem to be coming back again. Moreira seems to be getting a bit more of the ball, which is a positive for them, but their judgment on the offensive end isn't always the strongest, and the help on the defensive end isn't reacting quick enough.
No, and I think the pleasing thing, if you're a Slovenian fan and a member of their party here, is not that they're winning by this many, because I think they came into the game and they would have expected to win, but they look very comfortable as a group. You know, they want to share the ball, they want to play with each other. We've watched them practice a couple of times, and they're enjoying this experience. You know, playing national team basketball is something you do because you want to represent your country, but you want to enjoy it. You know, you see these guys once a year or once every 2 years, whenever it is. And so for these guys, they're celebrating being with each other and enjoying the opportunity. Yeah, they want to be in Tokyo. They'd like to keep this experience going for a lot longer. But the same feel we have got when we've watched them practice is out there on the floor. Forget the score. The scoreline is impressive. Their performance has been impressive. But what you're seeing here is not about the fact they're winning by 30 points. That's the team, that's the group, that's how they've been the whole time they've been here in Kaunas. Yeah,
that's the outcome of the relaxed attitude, and it's sharp contrast to what we've seen from Lithuania, our hosts. They're a lot more nervous, a lot more on edge, as we see Goran Dragic, obviously the MVP from Eurobasket 2017, sitting courtside watching his team play now he's retired from international basketball.
Was that when his brother missed the two little gimmies? When
I think it was a bigger laugh than that.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, if I was Zoran, I'd be having words. You can't be doing that on camera. Come on now. Throw me under the bus in front of everyone.
So when people edit these things together, that'll be, there's the missed layup, there's the reaction.
Yeah.
So smiles is the name of the game for this team from Slovenia. we'll be back for the second half. And looking forward to that. We'll see you shortly.
Val's beginning to mount up on Breeze Barrett with the finish and the scream. First game for these two teams here in Victoria, Canada at the FIBA Olympic Qualifying Tournament. Batista sends it home over Ilyasova. Osman, hesitation. Oh, another one. Counted and the foul.
Oh, almost a back pull and turned over. That's just sloppy. The veteran Mingas wasn't really expecting. Oh, what a block.
Yeah, you got to keep your hands up. And Solano avoids the foul. Oh! He hit the runway. How about that? And Serbia trying to stop the play with the reach.
We have walked this land for a long time. We know how far we've gone, and we're sure of how far we can go. Unity is not just a word here. It's not just a spirit in this sport. It's the way we all move. We are proud of our art, country, family, language, and culture. We are united by basketball.
Welcome to FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup 2022.
This is a journey into sound. A journey. New dimension, new value. When all is ready, I throw this switch.
Coach, to be honest, this game right now looks like a pickup game for some of you guys, running around the court, making jokes, having fun, smiling. And I think you understand that you already pretty much got the W in your pocket. But what's the main plan for the second half, and what's the main plan for this game? What do you want to achieve?
First of all, I think they're working hard on defense. We're doing a good job there, stopping there, not making easy shots. And then it's easier on offense to do what we do. Second, I think we just need to maintain focus for the second half.
Thanks for your time, Coach. Voila.
Thank you.
A very long question and a very short answer. Coach is happy because he's got guys on the floor that happen to set screens on not each other but on someone else. So he's getting everything positive out there, and it's a way that he can get ready for tomorrow, as far as I can see, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. The second half now is just going to be a high-intensity ability for them to continue their preparation for tomorrow and for hopefully for them on their steps towards going to Tokyo in a few weeks' time. But yeah, as a coach, you don't mind those questions, right? When things are going this well for you, they're pretty easy to answer. More of the same, and just keep our concentration. The only issue they might look at is, how many minutes are each player getting, reducing the chances of injuries. These are the kind of things that start creeping into your mind as a coach at that stage when you have such a commanding lead.
Well, we're going to get hear from Coach Pep in a moment, but I think, as you say, all those things about rotations and injuries, etc., what he won't want to do is get into too relaxed a state in terms of just making it almost an exhibition game, as you get a view of Yannick Noa's 6 points, 1 rebound, and he's had to go looking for those points and has to, apart from 1 or 2 late in the first half, has shot the ball quite well. But I think it's about their desire to hold themselves to accountable in what they do, and I think for anyone else watching this, especially for the Lithuanian fans, they're not going to be enjoying the fact that Slovenia are looking this on the same page, should we say.
No, before the start of the tournament, obviously everyone was kind of looking at the draw and how it had laid out, and most people looking at saying we're going to...
Tough game so far. What's your mentality, and how was the atmosphere in the locker room after the 34-point blowout in the first half?
Well, we're going to see now the mentality, and we're going to see how is the atmosphere. What is clear is that first 20 minutes, it was a joke. Here you cannot play like this.
What's the main plan for the second half? Obviously, a comeback could be pretty much impossible to do.
No, never is impossible, but what is impossible is to continue doing like this. This is impossible.
Obrigado, Coach.
Thank you.
Good luck in the second half.
Tim, I have to say that I think Coach Pep answered those questions impeccably, given the sort of implication of the question. He was very honest in that, well, all he can control there is the performance of his team. He said his performance of his team wasn't good enough. Is it ever over? It's never over till it's over, and everybody knows that. And it doesn't matter if it's a 1 in a million chance. You're not going to walk into your locker room and go, hey guys, we're not going to win. Let's just try and play for some pride here. He'd have talked about all sorts of things, but all the things he can control.
Yeah, and I think the thing from, you could get into the technicals if you're in the locker room, in that Angolan locker room at halftime. You could spend your time talking about the technical aspects. I think the psychological aspects are more important. It's about saying, guys, if you've got any self-respect, you need to go out, you need to be putting more on the floor, you need to be hustling in the transition defense, because like you say, there are things that you can absolutely change very quickly just through exertion of more effort, those kind of aspects. It can't really get into changing all the little details of how they're playing at this stage, but it is just a matter of, guys, we need to sharpen this second half and we need to regain some of that pride. As you say, you can't say the game's over at half-time no matter what the score is. We saw yesterday that Poland opened out a pretty considerable lead on Angola, but Angola do have the ability to score, and they can score in a hurry as well. They're happy to play a high-tempo style of play.
Yeah, absolutely. They got it back to single digits at one point, and also, I think the other thing that you will not hear from the Slovenians is they're never going to not respect their opponent, and they're not going to go into the locker room saying that's dumb, because they'll come out and play they'll play too loose, they'll play too scrappy, and I think Coach Pep, as I said, right at the response to that, did a really, I think, very professional job in answering those questions in a very difficult situation for him. But national team basketball is always a process. You know, you've got to go from tournament to tournament. You're never looking at things in isolation. There are some isolated outcomes, that's all. And from obviously in this instance, Mingas at the end of his career, but he's also got Selton Miguel and he's got Joshua Kashila for 2. And a lot of guys that are 22, 20 years old, that there's a future here. So this is about going forward. They've got to get better from this game to the next game, and they've got to get better from the first half to the second half. So it's going to be interesting to see how they respond. And it's also crucial that people like Yannick Morea show some real leadership in this moment. So I'm looking forward to this second half to see what sort of reaction we get from the Angolan team. And I'm impressed and excited to see how Slovenia come out. And only one change from the starting lineup. Blažić doesn't start, but Rupnik does, which means that Doncic will really move to the 2 spot, probably. But they're so interchangeable in that guard rotation. The 3 off the screen is good. Great execution on that occasion as Muamba knocks down the 3, got very balanced.
And I think it was important for Angola to get a good start. You know, just from a confidence point of view, to get themselves into this game.
Oh, going upstairs, Toby's going to come down, but we'll find the wing. Penetrates. Is that someone else stepping out on the sideline again?
Yeah, Dragic this time.
Sideline's moved at the half-time again.
But yeah, it's interesting, like you say, the change that they've made in the start, in the 5 that's come back on to start the second half for Slovenia, bringing Rupnik in. Clearly, they want to see, you know, moving Luka off the ball, putting him into the 2-guard position, taking the ball out of his hands. How are we going to react? How does our offense work with that as an option?
Off the screen. Santos gets it back, gets it to Muamba, gets to the keyway, goes with the right hand, off the glass for 2. Nice finish, under control. And a 5-0 start. And Muamba's got all 5.
And I don't mind that as a foul from Muamba. You know, we were talking about that before, saying less help and just be responsible for your own defensive assignment may actually assist Angola defensively. And, you know, he's just chased down. He'd lost Doncic, so he tried to chase hard to get back to him.
Well, they persist with the hard show. They're going to leave Rupnik wide open. He passes up the opportunity to knock the 3 down. Looks to attack it. Gets a little caught up with Toby. Blažić. Oh. That's what's called a quick release. Yeah, feet set, yeah, but like caught it, got rid of it so quickly. Knocks down the 3, reestablishes the 30-plus advantage. Malaya doesn't get it to go. Getting a little frustrated. The Ike big man. Doncic. Turn the corner, goes back. Wide open in the corner. Luka Rupnik for 3 is short. Looks a little heavy on that release. Ball goes out of bounds, and Angola will have possession.
Yeah, and it's the pressure relief valve for every Slovenian offense. They know when the pressure comes on the ball at the top, that means that there's, you know, the help has come from the wings. So there's going to be a corner shooter open. This time it was Rupnik. He couldn't make them pay, but the way Slovenia have been playing, they'll more than often than not make you pay for that.
Dos Santos. Toby hard shows. He had to switch back. Bastos. To the corner, the open 3 is off. Molea comes up the offensive rebound. Little pump fake goes inside out. They line up the wide open 3 is no good. They're all over the glass this time. Great work on the boards by Gaku again, and more than anybody else, Gaku's had a game.
Yeah, he has, and this is what they did against Poland yesterday as well. They had 15 offensive rebounds against Poland yesterday. And they're continuing to do that. They understand that maybe they're not the best shooting team in this tournament, but that what also means is there's going to be rebounds to go after, and the likes of Gaku are crashing the boards hard because they know they're going to be rewarded.
Chenko will inbound. 17 seconds still on the possession. Doncic off with the staggered screen. Rupnik wide open off the pass from Toby, just knocks it down, and it's just really nice execution. Santos will work it down the lane, blows the layup. Great work again. Geku's on the glass again, gives it up to Molea. Little pump fake, will have to earn them from the free throw line. No, they're going to call that on the floor.
And like you say, Gaku is doing a hell of a job on the offensive glass. He's really tuned into it, and from Slovenia point of view, this is part of the second half process for them. They can't lose concentration. What happens if someone, you know, makes their entire focus offensive rebounding? How are they going to react to that? What's the switches they need to make?
Edson and Diema checks in. Gaku misses from 2 feet. You got to feel for him because his effort deserved the 2. Doncic will handle, looks for his options. Guy in the corner is good.
And I was about to say, that's great defense by Moreira. I think it's the first time we've actually seen a clean chase out into that corner 3, and Chanchar still makes him pay.
Just a great example of a stretch 4. Chanchar is long, he's got the ability to shoot the ball, he's at it, he puts it on the floor well enough. So, Rupnik will advance the basketball. Certain symmetry to the scoreline of 37-73. Doncic steps back, is way short, and I think that's the 3rd air ball.
Yeah, it is, and he's thrown up a brick as well. So these are collector's items from Doncic's point of view. But if you're Angola, you're happy to see that being the shot selection that Slovenia are taking. They, you know, start of the second half, it seems like they've taken their foot off the intensity a little bit.
Well, Gaku with the 3 is way short.
Whatever Doncic can do, he can do.
Exactly. Doncic in transition gives it up. Rupnik through his legs. And just passed it to the referee, who dropped the pass, and it goes out of bounds.
A little bit too much showboating from Rupnik there.
I'm sure Coach Kulic will remember that one. And Doncic is in the lane. Watch out, he's on the runway. Throws it down for 2. Reaction from the crowd, and he's in, and Chanchar is fouled on the way up, and Gaku's gets the help in hand.
And you've got to love that from Chanchar. He's gone up for the dunk in transition. Gaku's played some great defense. He's absolutely done the right thing. He's not given up, but he hits the ground hard, and Chanchar's still first to help him up. Check he's okay. Great sportsmanship.
Echo Chanchar on the 3 throw line. Well, if there's that coaching manual that says this is how you shoot the basketball, Chanchar gives you a pretty good demonstration of it. Everything in a straight line, great extension, straight off the fingers. Every other coaching point you want to make.
I think he got a copy of that manual at a very young age.
3 on 1, and they managed to come up empty. Great effort to get back by Edson and Diema. And Slovenia almost had too many options down the floor.
And yeah, talking about Chanchar, it's been interesting to see him really grow into this international roster, into the senior national team over the last few years. Obviously seen as a real young, bright prospect, and he's really fulfilling that role now.
Rupnik tries to buy the foul, but the ball comes off the defender guarding him, and it will be a Slovenian basketball. Rupnik will have it on the baseline. Toby holds, gets it, and we're going to have a reaching foul.
Yeah, it was a little bit more MMA than it was basketball, right? But again, what option are you left with if you're giving up 20, 30 centimeters of height?
Well, there's an option for Eduardo Minguez if this is his last game. He could obviously...
Future career.
Nice, 198 Minguez. The tough 3 from the corner is no good. Defensive rebound is pulled in, and a chance for Dos Santos to lead the break. Gets to the foul line, doesn't like his options, has to back it out. Shelton Miguel moves it on. Minguez drops it inside. Malaya, a little bit indecisive. I don't know what he was going to put it on the floor and decided not to. Puts the shot up. Chanchar wraps the pass. Lagic turns it over. 3-on-1 break. They just have to make the right decision. They finally get it to the inside and one. And Yannick Morea, almost a sort of shrug of the body saying, okay, I finally got one to go.
And I can understand the frustration from Rupnik there. It's, I don't know if we could see it on the camera, but Toby hadn't even crossed the halfway line when they scored that. He'd not chased back at all. And when you're playing a relatively small ball team, you need your big guy to be happy to run.
Well, third foul for Rupnik. And they've let this unit run for quite a reasonable period of time at the start of this third period. Interesting to see if Coach Sekulic lets them play, and this might be the last time, although now obviously you've just got Dimic into the game. Blagic from the three-point line is short. And that's what you want to see from Dimic. Just go to work on the glass, put your body on the line, bang around in there, see what you can get. Does a nice job.
It's a really interesting defensive assignment. So they've put Morea guarding Tanchar on the wing, whilst Mingas is having to battle over size against Dimic. I don't really understand that. Morea is likely to burn more energy chasing a wing player around than he would be just playing post defense against Dimic.
It's a reasonable position to take, but when you're 42, do you really want to be chasing?
That's true. I'd given up quite a few centimeters as well.
Chankar, do you really want to be chasing him on the three-point line?
I think he played the senior card on that one.
Yeah,
Do you think he went?
You guys decide.
You do the chasing. I'm doing some post defense.
Dimic makes the free throw, second of the free throws. Now they're into the full Slovenian rotation, and they're going to all rotate out. Only Rupnik and Blagic remain. I think we may have seen the last of the people who started this quarter, including Doncic. And Rupnik is fouled mid-court. And Angola already in the penalty, so he will step to the free throw line.
You do have to give some credit to Angola, though. They're continuing their intensity, they're continuing to work hard, but also from Angola's perspective, this may be the last game they play in this Olympic qualifying tournament. They'll have one eye on AfroBasket. And they'll also, you know, from their perspective, there still might be roster spots. Yes, it's likely this 12 are going to go, but there's still people sitting in the periphery of this roster on the long list that will want a spot at AfroBasket in Rwanda later in the year. So these guys know they still need to put the performance in for the full 40 minutes.
Well, there's always, as you say, there's always some spots up for grabs, and people might be into the beginning of seasons and they might decide to look at different people, but what they're not going to want to do, as you say, they're not going to want to go out of this like doing anything to their best and trying to get something out of this game. Mindes puts it on the floor, goes to that second step, and love the frustration. He did travel, there wasn't anything else that was going to happen, but he's still trying to make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just the contact on the body, so the defense was good. They put body contact on him, which made his footwork fall out of line.
Blagic will sit, and that leaves us with just Luka Rupnik that started this this quarter. In fact, no, he's gone as well. So Blažić gets to the foul line, needs a pass. Dimic drops it inside, goes to the right hand. In fact, got more worried about the contact than finishing the shot. Comes up way short. Santos, it's Mingas. They hit the second side. Much better tempo. Miguel kicks, and they can't let it stick. Got to keep it moving. Miguel reverses. Attack that closeout. Miguel lines it up, and he's way off.
But I like the more patience that Angola showed in that offense. Yeah, they still took a tough shot, but they took a tough shot in the right point of the shot clock.
Dimic drops it inside. Nice cut, poor finish. Morea puts it on the floor, shows a little handle. Santos drops it inside. Morea with a push from under the foul line. Can't get it to go. And I think Yannick Morea is looking a little tired out there at the moment. Great effort defensively. He's not tired enough to throw this one down on the runway for the throwdown. Now he's desperately asking for a timeout, for a sub. I think they've got a timeout coming anyway. And they are going to go to the bench, and Bango will come in. Inside-outside penetration. Nikolic with a three, and just knocks it down straight forward, give it to the wing, draw the defense on middle penetration, spot up, knock it down. Timeout for Angola.
Yeah, and Slovenia had a phase, maybe taking their foot off the gas a little bit, and the second string five have come in and they've picked up the tempo again and gone back to the game plan.
First we gotta push the ball, see, but second we want to pass inside. We got two options to pass inside, we don't sit. And then we finish with our options. Primero tenemos que buscar la bola adentro. Primero tenemos que buscar adentro. Estáis pasando bien defensa de especial ahora. Estáis tocáis, todos estáis más activos. Mas cuando se te resalto, se coge y se abre la pista. Ya van 2 veces que no oyes o aro. No, tienes que mirar o aro. Tienes que mirar o aro. Cuando jugamos siguientes, jugamos estudiantes. Wilson, estudiantes. ¿Sí? El estudiante pases slip. En estudiantes pases slip. Más, jugador que juega bloqueo aquí. Lembra. 4. Mingas, tienes que estar preparado para un pase dentro o lanzamiento. Estos dos jugadores no están parados.
There's the clear importance of languages as a coach.
How many languages did he speak in that timeout? I mean, he started in English, put a bit of Spanish in there.
Very impressive. Important communication. Interesting from my perspective as well. Slovenia have obviously run through the majority of their roster. Prepelic being the only player that's not seen any minutes. He has got a very heavily taped shoulder, so I'm presuming it's a precautionary.
Yeah, absolutely. Must very important part of their rotation normally.
Yeah.
Santos will hand it off. They're going to go a little weave here as Miguel has it knocked away. Dimec, they're not going to take it off Dimec. He's far too strong for everybody. But he's far too strong for himself. Just lacked that composure after he did all the hard work and just threw it away.
Slovenian fans in the stands making themselves heard. Certainly good to have fans back in the arenas.
Well, Santos for 3 is long. Box out was solid by Muric. Best way to describe Muric, just solid in everything he does. Harry has at the offensive end, will hand off, will flare off that screen. As it's down the lane, we'll have to earn them from the free throw line. It's a great movement away from the basketball. There's a lot of options when you have the ball on this team.
Yeah, there is, and that's the joy. You know, even if someone traps down onto you, you know someone's going to be spacing. They're going to be in a passing lane that you can get to them. But your point about Muric, clearly a great choice as captain. He brings absolutely everything. He's stable, he's not over-emotional, but he's passionate, and he brings a huge amount of plus to this roster.
Substitutions for Angola as Wafate Muyamba checks in. If you've made the trip from Slovenia, you're going to try and have a good time. The fans here, although there's not a lot of people overall in the gyms, some fans is better than the empty gyms we've been playing ahead of, but I do think later in the week there's going to be a lot of people watching the Slovenian team play.
Yeah, I think if we do get to that Slovenia-Lithuania final, this is going to be a rocking arena, which is a wonderful return for anyone associated with basketball. The fans, us as commentators, the players, it's what everyone wants to see, a full arena, a full, safe arena.
1:59 to go in the third, 85-42. Ingas relieves the pressure. Big second step, but it just made the shot difficult. Took him further away from the hoop. Blažić leads the break, has numbers down the floor. 4-on-2 break, and the 3 is short, but with that numerical advantage, your rebound options are significant. Blažić turns down the screen, breaks down, steps through, and kicks. Nikolic lines it up, feet set, doesn't get the 3 to drop. Mingas comes down with the defensive rebound. Angola have a chance to run. That second side one, they're definitely doing that better today in terms of their movement coming out of the break. Second step block, Dimec was just too big and too strong.
There's definitely a lot of positives Angola can take. And you've got players starting to find their form and their feet. You know, that player there, Bango, for example, just 22 years of age, the next generation of Angolan players who will be featuring, no doubt, in Olympic qualifying tournaments for years to come.
Wow. Oh, I think Muric, calling him just solid as
maybe underplayed it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that was just sweet. Just catches, squares up, beautiful stroke. And another steal. And at the moment, the Edo Muric show goes deep into the third quarter.
Yeah, solid's the right word though. There's nothing over the top. There's nothing for, for show's sake with Muric's game. Everything he does is for a purpose, and he's clearly reads the game unbelievably well.
Santos needs a pass, finds one. Mingas gives him that option. Tries to put it on the floor, goes with the right hand, hits nothing but the side of the backboard. Chance to run, and again, they run as 5. They're going to call it offensive. Good stand by Dos Santos.
Yeah, it was a good read, and like you say, Slovenia running as 5, and not just running as 5, the spacing, the lanes they're running, the timing. Just look at that. What a great camera angle to be able to see exactly that point, the fact that they're spacing, that they've got a trail, that they've got people flashing to the wings, to the corners for the shots.
So 90-42. Angola should hold and will hold for the last shot of the third quarter. We've got a whistle on the play. And I don't think the Gregor Korovac is it's not going to be the favorite of the referees. 5 fouls.
But you got to love to see that frustration as well. Even in a game where, they're virgin, they're pretty much on the win point now. He's still annoyed. He's not getting to be on the floor. He's not getting to play basketball, which he loves, representing his country, which he loves. So it's a positive to see a player react that way when they're kind of forced out of the game. And now having the coaches talk.
Well, I think it's the technical side of, let's have a look at those 5 fouls, because there was a couple early on that were just a little reachy.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem was, not in the last one. And he won't be causing the referee's fan club, forming the fan club for these officials after the game. So he's taken away playing time. Well, Blazic penetrates, kicks. The open 3 is no good. Defensive rebound, and the realization that there was no time. And now Luka Doncic is even doing the ball boy stuff.
He's that desperate to get back on the court.
Yeah, coach, I'm still here. But that's the end of the third. And Slovenia rolling on. They lead this one 90-44. There's another 10 minutes. And sit back and enjoy a very, very effective performance. But hey, Angola are hanging in here. They're still working hard and trying to get something out of this.
Yeah, Slovenia only scoring 26 points in that quarter, below the 30 threshold that they were in the first 2 quarters. So maybe that's a positive that Angola can take from that quarter. But you look at the shooting percentages, and Slovenia are almost an automatic at the moment.
Well, we're going to look at the best plays of the third quarter. And again, I think there's you're struggling to limit these because there were so many. At the start of the quarter, we questioned, and so was coach questioned, how they were going to come out of the locker room. Well, they came out of the locker room, and first couple of plays executed really well, and you saw that great 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Angola came out with a little bit more energy, a little bit more motivation in that second half. And Slovenia, you could say, slightly turned down the intensity on the defensive end. Went asleep on a couple of plays, and that enabled Angola to get some scores. But Angola have kept with it, as we see this play here. From Gaku, he has worked so hard. He's hit the offensive glass hard. You can see the transition defensive effort. He's putting everything on the line. Doesn't matter what the scoreboard says to this Angolan team, they're going to chase for the full 40 minutes.
Well, I hope this replay just hangs on for a second. It didn't, because straight after that, Yannick Malaya was looking for oxygen. And I'm saying that from the perspective of that he didn't quit in that third quarter either. And I think the coach was asked at the halftime, what was going to happen and how it was going to be and etc. And all he said, it can't be as bad as the first half. It wasn't. And were they going to come out and actually put things on the floor? They did. So, coach is, it's never an easy job in this situation because you're frustrated, but you've got to get something out of it. And as you said, there's an Afro basket to play in a couple of months' time. This is great preparation for that right now because the team's on the floor together. But here we go. Start of the fourth quarter. Luka Rupnik back in. Dimic inside out, extra pass, wide open in the corner, is good.
And Nikolic will breathe a sigh of relief on that one. He's had quite a few open shots and not hit as many as you would expect. But Angola will be relieved that he hasn't hit as many as they would expect.
Well, that extra pass, the extra ball movement, It's really been a trademark of this game for Slovenia. The tough 2 is good. Nice step back for Kashida, who's looking good. He really has enhanced his international reputation in this game. Done a really nice job. Rupnik. Metch will dive. You'd have thought he might have gone at Mingas, but didn't. Going high-low. Nice pass. Dimech with a tough finish. And that's, again, super. They liked the matchup they had down there. All they had to do was get the passing angle right. And then they did. Dimech gets the easy 2. Ball movement this time by Angola, and the 3 is good. Ooh, Amber, who shot the ball well in the first game yesterday. It shows you what, and this team has talent from beyond the arc.
Oh, they absolutely do. From Angola's perspective, you know, they've shown glimmers of what they can do throughout this game, throughout yesterday's game. It's just the consistency. They need to make sure that brain on both defensive and offensive ends are switched on for the full 40.
Well, Milic again. That in a straight line three-point shot, everything lines up. And you know, we talked about this briefly with the development of the African League, and with more of their players playing in other parts of the world. You know, the future of African basket is bright, and with some of the talent on this team at the 22 to 20-year age bracket, things are looking good for Angola.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, it's almost entering a real strong development stage for African basketball, and you expect in another 4 years' time, or 3 years' time it'll be, won't it? It's we'll see a stronger Angolan team coming out, whereas these young players will have more experience at higher levels.
Well, Bwamba initially probably made the wrong decision to not give it up, then drew to contact and stayed a little tougher with it. But even at this stage, the rotation, the defensive transition, Slovenia get people back. And Dimech was the only guy standing still, and the last time that happened, Toby was then sat because he didn't get back. So I don't know if they're going to get into that sort of situation with 7:39 to go and a 98-49 margin, but there's a level of expectation that the team members have on each other.
Yeah, absolutely. It's used often in sports, but this word of trust within a team is absolutely critical. And you see that on the offensive end. The reason they're so selfless is they trust each other. Yes, I've got a good shot. I think the guy next to me's got a better shot, and I trust that he's going to hit it. And even if he doesn't hit it, it doesn't seem to dent that trust. I'm still going to pass him the ball. I don't regret passing him that ball. So, yeah, they trust each other to work hard.
Rupnik didn't need to trust anybody else on that one. No one else touched it. Gets over the 100-point mark, 101 to 49. And Luka Doncic is now chief cheerleader. He just won't sit down. Tough one, Trumha gets it to go. And Bango again. He's 2 meters 8, the Agosto center, only 22. Growing into a role on this national team. Rupnik flares, drops it inside. Dimech, they're going to go blocking foul as he ran to the front of the ring.
Yeah, I think it was inside the restricted area. Otherwise, it would have been a charge foul. I think he took the stand. Let's have a look.
Oh, he was a little late as well, wasn't
yeah,
he? He came into the shot at a pace.
That's a brave move from Gaku as well.
Yeah.
That's being willing to take that impact and have someone the size of Dimech lands on top of you. That's giving it all for your country, that's for sure. But yeah, it's slightly late with it. And if anything, that's kind of a highlight of where the Angolan defense, they've helped really hard on the perimeter, and then the rotation behind them hasn't quite been quick enough. It's been a split second too late, and that's where Slovenia have exploited.
Two for two, and we're going to get more rotations as Muric will rotate out to be replaced by Vlatko Chanka. Let's just rotate our NBA four-man into the game, Slovenia. And their rotations, really, the balance of the roster, they maintain the balance of the roster throughout the rotation, and coach does a really nice job at keeping the shape the same.
I think there's a Slovenian brand of basketball, and that really helps. That all the players that come through, the expectation is you can shoot the ball, that you're, you know, defensively, your IQ is going to be high, and that helps because when you do rotate, when you do, you know, move through the different levels of your roster, you're not really changing the dynamic. You're not bringing in a player that's a completely different style of player that has to try and fit in, and the other four have to adapt to that change.
Move the ball at the second side, got a whistle on the play as Nikolic tries to knock that one away. Be only the second team foul for Slovenia. Nikolic picks up foul number 1. Always on task, this Slovenian team. Taking the matchups as the substitutions come in. Rupnik will sit. Blagic will return. Amber moves it on. They think about the 3. They turn it down. Gaku. Diema and Gaku play a very big 2-man game, but they turn it over. Nikolic leads the break. Easy 2. They're blown by Blagic on the break. Going the other way. Moemba throws it down.
Elevates well for the throw down, and you've got to like Angola. They're continuing to chase. You know, the game it's a huge margin they sit with now, but they're not. The intensity they have now is exactly the same they had when the game started. So you have to give them a lot of respect to keep chasing, keep fighting on every possession.
Yeah, it's one of those play for your country, play with a pride, all those sorts of statements.
Yeah, absolutely. They know there's people back home watching this game,
exactly.
and they want to show out. They want to, you know, like you say, put some respect on the Angolan basketball name.
Nikolic gets Slovenia into the half court. Little horn set. Dimec will slip it. A little bit indecisive with the pass, but the foul's called on Doe. Had Blagic wide open in the corner on the same side and turned him down, and then went looking for a pass. It looked a little messy, but Slovenia retained possession on the baseline, 103-56. Still 5 minutes to go, still 5 minutes to enjoy this one. They have to go long out of bounds. Dimec will move it on. Blagic. And they're going to call that on the floor. I'm not really sure what Gaku was trying to do.
No, I'm not sure either. Dragic wasn't even showing to bring the ball back to the center, and Gaku overplayed and picked up his 4th foul on that one.
Came flying through.
Yeah, he did.
Shankar inbounds will flare off that screen, and then they turn down the ball screen. Nikolic will take it now. It is one of those things. I mean, it is a foul because he reached for the ball and hit him in the face.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's a real complaint. It's one of those things that I think you have to call, otherwise they keep doing it.
Yeah, it's clear. It's absolutely clear. There's no way that's not a foul. The frustrating thing is for Angola, that's probably one of their better rotations when they've switched and helped.
Yeah.
And it ends in a foul just with a little bit of over-exuberance on the defensive end from Endoniema.
Zoran Dragic. This is the first of the 3 throws. 32 now, 32 years young. Still plays with the enthusiasm he's always had, but he goes 0 for 2, but Dimec bows him out by coming up with the offensive rebound and putback.
As you say, Doncic carrying on being the towel-waving cheerleader on the sideline.
And while it's a nice thing to comment on, you know, both of them picking it up, but he's in this. You know, this is, he's playing national team because he enjoys it. Step back for the 2.
You know, the moment that the NBA season finished, what was his first comment? No vacation. Yeah. I'm going straight to Slovenia. I'm getting us to the Olympic Games for the first time.
Blagic in transition, has it knocked away, recovers it. Shankar puts it on the floor. Great hands, great effort, but they're going to toe the sideline. tremendous effort by Edison and Diema.
Yeah, came flying into the camera just in front of us, but he wasn't going to give up on that play.
No, it's great to see with 4:28 to go. 14-second reset, 105.58. Sabasic inbounds, and Iklic turned down the drive lane. The passing options ran out because everybody stayed at home. No one got into rotation.
And this is what we've been talking about for the whole game. Stay at home, just play straight defense with the guy that you're assigned to. Chanchar came round the screen and was like, oh, my corner shooters are not open anymore, and was lost. There was nowhere to pass.
Dajic is going to go back to the free throw line.
And for Slovenia now, it's going to be interesting because obviously tomorrow they have Poland. And realistically, tomorrow it's kind of that seeding. Do we want to go top of the group, or are we going to go through in second in the group for the semi-final? Now, form would say if you go through second, you're facing Lithuania in the semi-finals. If you go through top, potentially you're meeting them in the finals. Slightly presumptive, but it's you start thinking about those kind of permutations and how you're going to run. The one thing I would say is you can't take the Polish game for granted, that's for sure. You know, watching their performance yesterday against Angola, they were very impressive at times.
Another turnover, and they tried to overpass it. 4-on-3 break, there's someone wide open, and that man is Bastos. Can't get the three to go. Great rebound again. Gaku's all over the stat line. Goes up with a right hand hook and gets it to go. And Abubakar Gaku, still just 24 years old, getting it done today. Really has had a nice game. Shankar will swing it and line up the three from the corner, and they throw another air ball. But Dimic again bows them out, going to work on the offensive glass.
Yeah, he just read the shot, the flight of the shot from Dragic. It was going to be an air ball. It was too heavy, going too far. Whilst Angola were busy boxing out, he just scooped up the loose ball.
I think in response to your point about do they pick who they play, I don't know if they I think the most important thing there is that Poland is no gimme. So it's, and I think they're going to want to just win games.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, there's no way any team here is going to approach it thinking, you know, is there an easier draw one way or the other? And ultimately, you know, you're going to face the toughest teams in a tournament. That's just happens. It's just what order you face them in. Let's be honest. That's what it comes down to. One thing's for sure, though, tomorrow's game is going to be a stern test for Slovenia because Poland, similar, very relaxed team, very close-knit team. They understand each other well. They understand each other's roles. Maybe not as deep as the Slovenian roster. That's the only area I would look at.
Yeah, I think that's a given in terms of depth of roster. It's going to be an intriguing matchup. It's one of those ones, man, put it in your diary. Check out the time of the game. It's going to be this time tomorrow the two teams will play. And I'm looking forward to it already.
Yeah, when you look at it, there's interesting matchups across the board, right? Slaughter going up against Doncic, and then we look at Balcerowski, the young big for Poland, going up against Toby. Plenty for us to look forward to.
Almost passed to us there.
I saw you getting your footwork right. You were ready to go. You signaled.
That was going to be an assist. I'd have made it from here.
High percentage shot for
Absolutely.
you, for sure.
Deep three from the corner is off. Defensive rebound pulled in, but turned over. Easy two. It's going the other way. Picks up. He'll be pleased he made that layup after the last couple. Miguel moves the basketball on. Bastos. Big second step. Who can't get it to go. All the bits are there though for Gakko. Delagic with the two. And Angola will take the timeout. They trail 112 to 63. And 2:27 to go in the fourth.
O vas a resalto, traballas o paras a la paras bola. Vamos a jugar hasta el final, hasta el final. Se gioca 41, ¿qué es esto de tirar una bola? Que no es importante, no es importante. Gioca hasta el final, serio, serio. Se gioca 41, Mao tiene que llegar el 5. Está agarrado en los bloqueos. Cuando vas a poner el pick-and-roll, está agarrado.
Good to see the Slovenian fans enjoying themselves in the stands. And nice of the in-house DJ to play one of their local tracks.
We think it's a local track.
Yeah, every time.
In arenas. 1:12.63. Slovenia with 2:23 to go. The three is good out of the timeout.
Another one of the young stars for Angola, Selton Miguel, alongside his brother. They were in the long list. Selton was the only one that made it through.
Dimic, great rotation. Really good rotation by Buamba. They've got better in that aspect of the game across this tournament, these two games.
Yeah, they really have. As we've got into the fourth quarter, that weak side, and not just the first rotation, not on the double, but the next one has got a lot crisper.
Match with long two is no good. Ball falls into the hands of Selton Miguel. Still a student at Kansas State, goes with the right hand, he's blocked. Dimic, after missing the shot, that was done. Didn't do anything about it, got back, played defense and protected the ring.
But I don't mind that offense for Miguel. It's the right thing. He's beaten Rupnik, which is a tough thing to do. Rupnik's got very quick footwork. You know, he's almost bought the right to go strong at Dimic.
Turn it over. Zoran Dragic. A bit late with the singing. He missed out the song, so he's just trying to catch it. Here's Rupnik. You're going to look inside. They really did create the passing lane, inside, outside, need a pass. They find one. Little floater in the lane. Kisses the glass for two. Got a whistle, blocking foul. And Selton Miguel is going to go to the free-throw line.
Definitely a future star of African basketball, Selton Miguel. He was the all-tournament team at under-18s 3 years ago in the African Championship. So a potential future leader for Angolan basketball going forward.
Well, he still has at least 2, if not 3 years of basketball at Kansas State.
Yeah.
And that's going to educate him, as well as, you know, just in getting the playing experience. Going to educate him about the game. And you want him to find a pro job that's going to really keep enhancing him, and you know that then Angola are going to have someone that you're going to call on that's going to make everyone else on the team a better player.
Yeah, within international basketball, it's vital that you have one of your star players in that point guard position, someone that can handle the ball, control the emotions and the tempo of the game, and facilitate the offense. You know, you look at all of the teams here in the Olympic Qualifying Tournament, the ones that will be successful will have a very strong point guard, if not 2 in the roster.
Victor Rupnik on the free throw line. Makes the second. 2 for 2 from the line for Rupnik. And here's Miguel again, moves it on. Bastos got that little twist to the shoulder and misses the 3. Miguel likes to open out a little space, fills the double team, turns it over. Great read. Great protection of the basketball, felt the attempted block and really did do a nice job at protecting it, Sabasic.
Yeah, wonderful transition basketball, like you say, just textbook protecting the ball. But at the other end, Selton Miguel, just impatient, didn't wait for the screen to set. The screen wasn't there, so he eventually ended up just getting himself in a trap.
Bastos is going to be frustrated with himself as he turns it over. Glitch doesn't need the pass. Now he moves it on. Lupnik, Sabasic, the pass was there, the execution was there in terms of cuts. The pass just a little bit too far in front of Dimec as he tried to hold his space.
Yeah, maybe a split second too early. I think Dimec was making that move, but hadn't quite taken the big step that he needed into the paint.
Everyone just walking this one down. The 3 is off. The match will get the rebound. I think that'll do it. And that's been an experience for Slovenia. They open their tournament with an impressive performance. They get the 118-68 win. Everybody played except for Prepelic. Everybody looked good. Everyone's in good shape, and they win it 118-68. Angola go 0-2 and are finished in this qualification tournament.
Yeah, and the shooting stats certainly tell the story here. 3-point percentage, 46% from outside for Slovenia, hitting 18 threes in that game. And without a shadow of a doubt, the most dominant performance we've seen here by any team in the qualifying tournament so far. Slovenia, their brand of team basketball pays dividends, 31 assists on their 118 points. And plenty for Coach Claros to think about going towards AfroBasket.
Well, there are the top scorers, and you get a 118 and the top scorer has 16. That tells you that everybody's contributed. Everybody looked as though they're in pretty good nick in terms of their sharpness. As I say, the only worry for Slovenia, which I'm sure someone will pick up during the press conference, is Prepelbic's ability to come back or to play in tomorrow's game or at any stage over the next few days. But what they will be happy with is the way that the team has performed. Angola, a lot to take away, a lot of positives, and that second half performance showed a lot of character as a group. So these are the best plays of the second half, and I've said it every time. There's
not short of them.
They're not short of highlights.
That's for sure.
That was the third quarter start. And I go right back to the halftime interview with Coach in the sense that you're asked, literally, your team's played rubbish, which is what was said to him. You've got no chance of winning. Almost why you're bothering. It was almost the implication of it. Coach, quite rightly, you know, it's never over till it's over. You know, can we change it? It's up to us. And he really did. They obviously talked about their execution, and that's an impressive response from Angola. And with the young, half the roster being very young and the roster for the future, that's going to be a good experience for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just have to do the comparison between the first half and the second half. In the first half, they weren't able to keep Slovenia below 30 points in a quarter. In the second half, Slovenia didn't get above 30 points. You know, and then you look at the first quarter, they only scored 9 points. They scored 24 points in that final quarter. Yes, part of it is Slovenia will have taken their foot off the gas, but you still have to convert, you still have to execute, and it was great that Angola did, you know, as the coach was intimating, just really it was an attitudinal change, it was a motivational change that they needed to really say, well, you know, what are we here for? Are we just going to be the whipping boys? Are people just going to come in and score crazy amounts on us and beat us by a silly amount, or have we got some pride in our national basketball team? And they certainly showed that in the second half. They came out, worked hard, and put on a much stronger display.
Well, and that's the impressive thing for me, that the level of the game, even though it became a very one-sided on the scoreboard, never became one-sided in terms of what each team was trying to do on the floor. And Angola, as we say, journey younger, half the team is youngsters. And that's going to be you're going to learn, they've learned more in 2 games than they'd have learned in months in terms of preparation. So that's, and the way Coach Pep was at halftime, he looks like he's going to do, he's capable of doing a really good job with this group and seems to have everything pointing in the right direction. So I expect a good show from Angola in AfroBasket. But let's talk about Slovenia for a second. There's a lot of weapons there. And the one thing that they didn't really have to show was their ability to beat you on the dribble. And when Angola did contain them and didn't have help, life became a little bit more difficult. And that's obvious, but when you think about who they're going to play, Poland have got the foot speed in most spots to try and maintain and contain. So it'll be interesting to see. Let's have a look at how that affects the Group B table. Slovenia and Poland with the one win. They play tomorrow to decide who's first and who's second and who will play in which semi-final. That's impressive by Slovenia. Get their program off to a winning start. They look good. I'm looking forward to them for the rest of this tournament. For the moment, from Kaunas, it's goodbye.